Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
All right, these Bothrops atrox, pogo sticks with venom. These are from the Colombia area or Colombia, Venezuela. They used to be called Bothrops venezuelensis, but they're really Bothrops atrox, just a different color scheme. Their DNA is the same as, for the most part, pogo over there, or this little male from Guyana. It's all the same stuff, and they're just underappreciated here, and I'm going to send them to a zoo where they can be on display. The zoo lost one of the sexes that they had, so rather than just send one so they can propagate them, I offered to send both since they've been sort of together since they were babies. So again, it's a little bit sad for me because I raise these things up from little danger noodles all the way to highly dangerous ballistic missile venom machines. So the usual plan, and things don't always go according to plan, is open the cage carefully. She's expecting food. I haven't fed them because I need to put them in a box and ship them via Delta Cargo tomorrow. So don't want them regurging. So they more or less have an empty stomach. But that doesn't mean that they're not expecting food. A matter of fact, we call this one Blondie. She will usually tap the glass with her nose in a rather hard fashion because you can hear the thud when you walk by. She'll also occasionally strike at the heat panel or the light because that's a big heat signature. So the idea is to hook her out, maybe have to tail her, and drop her in the bag, and then we'll twirl the bag, close up, and hopefully she stays in there. We lock it down with a hook, compressor to the bottom, and zip tie it, then zip tie it again, and then it will go into an outer bag just for safekeeping. That is the plan. Because these are pit vipers, and I know personally, Jim was trying to, Kentucky Reptile Zoo was trying to tube one of these guys, and it jumped over the length of the tube and latched onto his wrist. It was a bad bite. So Dan, holding the bagging device, has his arms protected with the Midwest gloves. There are no gloves that will stop a snake fang. I don't care what the heck you hear on the internet. I can come up with a dozen or more people who got bit by through different gloves. So I don't trust them as a primary defense. I use them as a heat signature mask, so you're not such an interesting target because your arm is inside here. This is cool, this is hot. Well, maybe to Stacy it's hot, but, and it gives you some protection just in case. Because, if the snake hits, it will usually, the fang will be partially stopped or completely stopped. You just can't count on that. But a lot of the venom will be expended on the surface of the glove and not under your skin. Okay, that said, that's the plan. We're going to pause briefly to grab the backup doomsday device off the back of the door in case this thing goes ballistic, which is certainly possible. Well, here goes nothing. One thing I do is if a snake is... Hi kids. Everybody's like, well, it's Sunday. Where is the food, guy? Where is the food? Well, it's really a bad idea if you have snakes that are, you know, you're going to bag snakes and you have feed items smell all over your hands. It's bad enough that they're on my jeans because I fed some snakes yesterday. So everybody is like, hey, what about me? So I didn't feed in this room today, didn't touch mice, chicks, or whatever, well, other than my favorite chick. So I don't have that scent on my hands. So a lot of times I find that if you have a snake that you open the door and it's expecting food, sometimes if you just spray it down, that's something that they were not expecting, so it acts sort of to throw them a bit off balance. Oh, it's a big strike. Come on. No, no, no. There's no food. There's no food, you bitey thing, you. No, this is not what I wanted, so I'm getting out of here. Whoa! See, pogo stick. Lift it up. Okay, put it down on the ground. Oh, well that's not good. Hello.
Oh, and it just crapped everywhere.
Okay, go ahead and crap on my carpet.
Drop the tail end in too.
Well, I'm not going down there with my hands. Here, hold that.
Yep.
I'm going to drop it in.
Okay, stand, put your foot on the, sorry, folks.
All right. Normally I tie one real low, but I just want to make sure that that beast is not coming
North.
back up. Okay, so untie that, put a glove on, pick up the bag, hang it in the air.
Here, I've got this.
Yes. Okay. Let go.
Yeah, keep your hands away, they can still, and legs. It's a pit viper, so
Well, that was a very clean, fresh bag.
it is now smeared with a bunch of poop. Mm.
All Alright, Dan, drop your gloves right above my clamp there. Watch out for the bag. It will
Bite back.
Yes. Okay. Got it?
Yep.
That is
So
a
is it.
very angry viper. You can
Yes.
hear the tail just.
And this is why they've earned that name, Pogo Sticks with Venom. Wow.
Woo!
A little bit of chaos today.
Yeah, that's.
Everything went too smooth this morning.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so there we have. Now we've got a video going to circulate. Watch Viperkeeper dance. Yep.
Well, that guy now gets to travel in his own stench.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but that's the way it goes.
Gets the adrenaline going, doesn't it? I have done this many times with him.
You want to carefully drop it in the bin.
You want to do the outer bag?
Let's do the other bag.
Top of the Fields Viper.
Okay, after that fun, we're ready for number 2.
Well, number 2 already happened down there.
Yes, number 2 is all over the place, but this is typical. Unfortunately, you know, it's just not nice to send snakes along with their number 2 to your friendly neighborhood zoo. Just not polite, and the snake has to sit in that for, well, realistically about 24 hours.
So shall we take it out and do this all again?
No.
Yeah, poop happens.
Yes. So, all right. Well, let's see what this one can dish out. Hopefully
Round
it's
2.
No worse than the last one. Although the last one was pretty bad. Oh yeah, we're a happy camper already, huh? Should we just dispense with the normal hook and just go with the grabber? No, I generally, if the snake behaves, oh, look at that friendly nature. Whoa. If the snake will behave, it will not resort to really, really tough measures. Oh, yeah, I see that. I see that. Why are you taking me out of my home, huh? Okay, well, since we went to hell in a handbasket and back with the other one, which, by the way, just for the record, was a female, we were rewarded by a relatively easy bagging. Okay, so just lift the bag. I don't even like putting my arms over the bag. It's too tempting target. Hold that. Don't tighten it up yet. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna grab the outer bag behind you.
Yeah. So now we have to drop it in the outer bag. Before we do that, we'll put stick the label. Okay.
Forceps.
Just to make it a wee bit easier to there we go. We should be amused by the documentation of that camera, web camera that's overhead. And that should be quite amusing to watch me dance around with my hair on fire, and trying not to make any of my other body parts on fire.
Yes, unfortunately, I was not able to capture as much as I would like because, you know, everybody was in the way. So not your fault. That's how it had to be, but probably did not, you know, get the greatest footage. So
Yeah, it is what it is.
hopefully you can add in some of the footage from the room cameras.
Yeah, that's a little tough because the video sync that's on that camera is somewhat different
Different
from
than
this,
this one.
so
Ah.
it edits a little differently. So I don't know. Okay, so bring in the bin. Well, actually, let's drop this guy in the bin. Let's take them both down and weigh them together. I already weighed the bin. And then we can come back and clean up the mess.
Yes, do wipe your feet once more on this rug just to make sure, because you know, it's bad enough it was tracked around up here. I don't want it tracked around downstairs. Thank you.